So I've gone and I've found some articles that look like they're going to be really useful. And so what I want to do now is actually figure out what can I do with these articles once I've got them. So if I click into an HTML article, one of the benefits is that not only can I read it, but there's also a player that will play the audio for me, and it'll actually speak the words that are on the page so I can read along as it reads to me. And there's some settings you can play with, but we're going to avoid that for now. So I've got the whole article here, and I can read through, and it actually has picked out my keywords that I was searching for. You can see them bolded there. So that's going to make it easy for me to find any areas that have specific content that I might be particularly interested in. In addition to having the article itself, though, one of the great things that Explora offers is this sidebar full of tools on the right here. In an earlier video, we talked about how you can sign in, and that gives you the folder that follows you from your one session to another. So when I use that tool for add to folder, it adds, or as you can see, removes the article from the folder, and it's there for me whenever I come back. I also have the option to print, and when I go to print, I can print it in a couple of different formats. I can also email the article to myself in a couple of different formats, which is kind of handy. If I don't have a printer available, I can just email the information to myself for use later. It lets me choose what kind of citation I want to include. It also lets me fill in the email address that I'm going to send it to, and you can see it's going to be sent from ephost@epnet.com, so I know to look for that. I can fill in the subject line, I can add comments. If I want to choose plain text, it will allow me to just send the plain text version as opposed to the full HTML version, which I can also send in addition. So that's going to give me different ways of looking at the text when it shows up. And once again, my citation can be chosen from several different options. MLA is probably going to be the standard. And then I can just click send, and it'll go to whatever email address I've entered into that email box. The save option lets me actually make a copy of this page and save it to my computer. So I can choose, once again, my citation format, and when I hit save, it's going to bring me to a screen that's going to show me this is the information that's going to save. And here at the top, it tells me how to use different browsers to save this information as an actual document on my computer. So since I'm in Chrome, it says to select right-click with my mouse and then do Save As. When I do that, it gives me the option to save as a web page. I can give it whatever name I want, and when I save this, it's going to be saved to my actual computer instead of me having to go to the internet to look at it. I can see that it's loaded up down there at the bottom. Now it's saved on my actual computer, which is going to be really handy instead of having to come back to Explora to look at this. I also have options for citations. If I click this Cite button, it's going to actually give me a bunch of different citations. I think there's 9 different versions of citations. Now, I don't need 9 different versions, but I can find the one that I'm using for my particular class. Since it's MLA usually, I can just select that, I can right-click it, and I can copy it, and now it's ready to be pasted right into my Works Cited section or a bibliography list that I might be creating for this particular project. The export tool lets you send the information to a bibliographic software management system. We don't have those at SATS, but other schools may, so it may be something that's useful to you in the future. Here's one of the key tools though. With this Create Note, you actually have the option to put notes to go with the article itself, and those are going to save across sessions. So you can do annotations about this article, and when you save them, you can carry those annotations from session to session. That's going to be really handy as you're going through lots of different articles. Those are some of the key usability features that Explora offers you as you do research through their database. If you have further questions about Explora, be sure to ask your teacher or librarian.